Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. Unless you use one of many apps that I'm going to show you today. It exists, but it's all fake. It's all fake, we know this. Welcome back to another Instagram versus reality Facetune fails style video. You may know me as a skincare reviewer, but I'm actually a photography graduate. I studied editorial and advertising photography and really took a keen interest in digital retouching and photo manipulation. And today I want to share some of the photo editing apps and software that is widely used by not just influencers, but everyone, companies, etc. I believe that knowledge is power, and if you know exactly how these photos are being manipulated, then you know what to look out for in the future. First of all, we're going to take a look at a few videos that I've been tagged in and that I actually found myself this week. So one of the main profiles I found was Chinese_edits. And this profile seems to use a very particular app, which I really tried to find, but I think it's Android only and in China that you can download this. But it uses a particular app to make these insane edits to these pictures. Let's have a look at some of them. I mean, looking at that, it doesn't look massively edited. Now we know it does look edited. But for example, we have the usual bendy background. Even when there's natural patterns in the background, like whatever, there's wallpaper behind her, or I don't know if that's a concrete print, you can see it wrapping around her face. So that's something to always look out for. We've got a dodgy hairline going on as well. And of course, just the no texture with the texture on the skin. So here's the thing, a lot of people confuse poorly pixelated pictures for edited or filters. I posted a picture recently that everyone was like, something's wrong with this, it looks like a filter. It was just a shit quality picture. But what the difference is on this final picture here, there is so much detail still by her eyebrow, and then it's just completely blurred everywhere else, even the skin right next to that detail. There's no reason other than photoshopping or retouching that you get that difference in texture, right next to each other. So what they've even done is they've gone back on the hair that's going over the face and taken away any dodgy bends, because that's usually a telltale sign that the picture's been edited, but they've actually gone in and straightened, recurved that hair back out. In fact, we can actually see the original pictures retouched. Again, that's where the difference in quality originally comes from, is the initial edit. Let's look at this one. These apps are good. So the eyes could in fact just be circle lenses. They could be, blue colored contacts. The makeup in the first place is really nice anyway. I mean, so much has been done. Like, they've even added extra hair in there for what reason? I'm trying to look at the signs, but again, it's that sweeping hair under the chin. The hair that kind of instead of falling like this and waving a little bit or just falling down, it for some reason sweeps where there's no, there shouldn't be any kind of pull, gravitational pull under the neck for some reason. Oh, guys. I mean, some of these are so subtle that you would think, oh yeah, that's them. Do you know what I mean? If that was your friend, you'd be like, oh, that's a really good picture of you. So that's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. But there are so many apps that will do this for you. The most obvious is Snow. Snow is an app that I use all the time because they have amazing filters on there. They have a really good library of filters. But I also use it for mine and my brother's joint channel Instagram page to make these really alien looks. And kind of take the piss, and we always say no filter and stuff. And this is a very popular app. There's also an app called Soda, which is pretty much the same thing. And these are so easy to use, so easy to use. You can use them live. A lot of these have the video option, so you can edit your face and record a video. And it looks pretty convincing as long as you're not standing in front of a fence or anything with straight lines. And now we have apps, they've actually been around for a long time. We have apps that will actually slim you down and will do your body live video. And again, they look pretty convincing. Let's look at this video from the Reddit forum, Instagram versus reality. I mean, at first glance, this looks incredibly real. To look at, you'd be like, oh, she's long in all the wrong places. Her body anatomy doesn't quite make sense. But as we zoom in even not massively, you do start to see everything kind of gravitating towards the body, bends as people walk past. And it really is amazing now what these apps can do. And I've mentioned before in a previous episode of this series that there are apps out there currently being made, programs currently being created that will slim you down, change all different types of your bodies without a single glitch in the background. So you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know. These kind of things are very popular in China. A lot of gamers use them, a lot of streamers use them. I'm gonna be taking a deeper dive into that for a future episode. Photoshop is a software that you can use on any platform, basically. That is a professional tool, but now has become affordable because you can pay for it on a monthly basis. And the basics are very, very easy to use. What I want to do is show you what's often done to people's faces, how subtle it can be, how obvious it can be, and how this is so easily done as well that anyone can do it. And I'm not going to show you in a professional way how to retouch skin, all that kind of stuff, because there are certain ways of doing it. I'm going to show you in the simplest way how to use these tools and how to use Photoshop. But I also want to show you what to look out for if you see an image that you're a bit like, there's something not quite right about this. I want to show you the telltale signs that this has been retouched. So here we have it. Here's an angry looking picture of me from when I used that the pore vacuum thingy. It's made my pores bigger, it's made my skin red, it's given me like a tiny spot, so we're going to get rid of all those. First thing we're going to do though is create a new layer, and we're just going to call this Liquify. We're going to go filter, Liquify, I've cut that off, I'm sorry. Liquify tool used to be something that you could spend hours doing to reshape the face. However, recently Photoshop had this face tool in Liquify that recognizes areas of your face. So the outside of your face, just kind of like the sides, whatever that is, I don't know what that is. Just the outskirts, I don't know. Nose, eyes, forehead, and lips. It always gets my lips wrong because it thinks my beard is a lip. But I want to slim myself down. It's really easy to do. You just grab that and do that. We're going to make my chin a bit pointier. We are going to bring my forehead down a bit. We'll have to kind of like redo that. My nose down, my nose skinnier. And then we could use, make my eyes a bit bigger. Tilt them a little bit as well, because I feel like my eyes droop in the wrong direction, but we could also move them completely as well, the same with the nose. And then with the Liquify tool, you could use this forward warp tool, again, which is just like the manual kind of exfoliation, manual Liquify tool where you can make little changes. So I want my nose to be a little bit straighter, so let's just straighten that out a bit. Again, very, very simple way of doing this. Make my jawline a bit squarer, shall we, for no real reason. Let's pull that back up so it doesn't look obviously photoshopped. Okay, so I don't like how that looks, obviously, but that's just to show you what's going on. So doing the skin is as simple as selecting a tool. We'll go up here to the main tools, really. You've got your spot healing brush tool, patch tool, and I don't really use the content aware move tool or the red eye. So spot healing brush, super easy to use. Here we've got this bit of redness here, and we're just going to circle it, and it's gone. Red bit here, gone. Here, gone. Burst capillaries, gone. And you could just go around your skin forever, getting rid of all these blemishes. It's also good for flyaway hairs. And this basically just copies the skin around it. And this can work on acne, it can work on stretch marks, dark spots, wrinkles, fine lines like this one here. We also have the healing brush tool where you have to be very selective about the area you get, because instead of kind of like cloning the area, it literally copies. So if I want to get rid of this fine line, I'll select an area near it and we'll just go over. What this does though is it kind of repeats the pattern of your skin, and that's one thing you need to look out for if you're looking at retouched work, is repeated skin. Another thing is the clone stamp. It does what it says really on the tin. It clones areas of skin from around your face. So again, if I want to get rid of these moles, just do that. This is also good for lightening dark areas of skin, like dark under eyes. Turn the opacity down a bit. Select a lighter layer of skin and start painting away. Make your eyes look a little less darkened by selecting the skin near. Get rid of those dark circles. Again, you'd be a little bit more careful with this, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to literally make things disappear off your skin. But one thing we can do with the texture is something called frequency separation. It's a little bit more technical, and is where you separate the texture from the tones of your skin. So the tones would be the blur and the texture being the texture. One thing we do have to consider when we look at retouched pictures is that real skin isn't always real skin. I think the skincare industry in particular has this idea that real skin means skin with breakouts, acne, dark spots, anything then clear skin basically, when that's not always the case. In fact, the idea that a before and after picture, for example, needs to be bad textured skin, it means that a lot of people are actually faking the before pictures rather than the after picture. Again, I found this picture on the Instagram versus reality Reddit forum. This is a great example of a before and after picture where there's been editing going on both the before and after, but what you can see on the side before is that the image has been sharpened, meaning that every single bit of texture is going to show up. You can also do something called a high pass, which again is going to make every crevice, every crack show up on the skin. So whilst from the looks of it, from what we know, it does look like she has some natural texture, some post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and redness, it's been greatly exaggerated. On the after side, it's been filtered, edited, smoothed, and acne has been removed. Again, as you saw from a demonstration, something super simple to do with a click of a button. So there we go. That is it for this week's episode of Instagram versus reality. I'll be back next week because I enjoy doing these and I know you enjoy them as well. And I feel like this merges my photography background with my skincare and new industry knowledge. So do keep tagging me in these. Again, just tag me. Don't say anything else. We all know what we mean when we see these. There are a lot of brands that I have saved that we're going to be naming and shaming in a couple weeks time. And remember, let's not go around shaming people for using filters unless they are really trying to sell us something. But let's just be aware that they're being used. I think that's a good first step, but you can watch the rest of the Instagram versus reality series here, and also some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.